number. There was one 49er who was absolutely spectacular, and that's Fred Warner. And he was asked after the game about what happened defensively with the 49ers.
Too many my bads, too many, man, I try to be better next time, and me included. Like, I'm thinking of the plays that I wanted back in this game. Like I said, we got to play more together as a team. We just got to do our job, play smarter football, and the rest will take care of itself because we are talented. We do play hard. We just got to play smarter.
I like that. Because that 97-yarder, Steiny, was a my bad by two cats. I mean, Odom got benched, basically. Mustafa came in for him. But, man, you give up that play and, the audacity of Minnesota to feel like they can block you up front to give Darnold that time. How good is Sam Darnold? He's probably sipping on a mimosa this morning. We talked about it. I thought it wasn't feasible. The revenge game from Sam Darnold, and he outplayed Brock Purdy and the Niners. Give him his flowers.
You mind if I take a cheap shot?
You do it with the best of them. Go ahead.
Can Aiyuk make that play Jefferson made?
Well, maybe, you know what's funny about that?
Maybe nobody can, but
what's funny is the Niners didn't go deep at all.
Well, he can't get deep like that.
But, Steiny, he can if you pay him $30 million.
No, he can't.
You don't get the 30 to Steph Curry if you can't take the top off.
4.5.
They didn't send him deep. Well, right now he probably huffing and puffing.
4.5 catches per game.
But they paid him 30. Gertie.
Right, and if you pay him 30, it doesn't mean he's going to be able to go deep all of a sudden and catch balls like that.
Well, I'll say this. He's no Justin Jefferson. How about that?
Well, I don't think anybody is. Like I said, it was a cheap shot. Let's go to Case in San Jose. Wants to talk about the Niners' loss. Case in San Jose.
Hello, hey guys. How you guys doing?
What's going on?
Yeah. I think two things contributed to it. Not having CMC and just like not being conditioned because the AC was out and Kittle was on the sideline for a little bit getting the IV, and a couple players were getting gas because must have been hot in there.
Yeah, I guess it was hot. No, I appreciate it.
Shout out Nelly. It was hot in here, but still, Sonny, the Vikings played, didn't it?
Is that true that the air conditioner was out? Yeah. It's like the old Boston Garden.
I thought you were going San Antonio Spurs in the finals when they beat Bron when he was with the Heat. Remember, AC was off. Yeah, he was cramping up.
I don't remember that. But I don't know if that's the answer or not. But the 49ers didn't play very well.
But what about Brock, Steiny? He seemed
mediocre. He was very average.
And a lot of his throws, and he was hitting Debo over the middle. And I know you know the game. Just to sports, sometimes numbers lie. But when you look at when it's all said and done, Debo had 100. Your boy had 100 on the ground. Mason, I felt like I wanted to see him more, and I thought we would. And then Brock threw from 300, but you were a millisecond, a yard away from being down 20 going into the fourth quarter. So I think those numbers lie and make it look closer than it was. But, Steiny, I don't know what to make of him. He threw a pick, fumbled the ball, just slipped out, and that wasn't wet conditions. Things happen, but I'm wondering, I was sitting up here fat-mouthed, and they don't need McCaffrey. After that game yesterday, I'm like, man, they got 3 or 4, or like Bonte said this morning, who knows how many more weeks without him. But Purdy didn't have his best game yesterday.
And neither did the offensive line.
6 sacks. Damn.
I'm saving my analysis of the 3 greedy guys.
But then wouldn't you be unfair putting it all at their doorstep because neither one of them were in the secondary, and the secondary was getting torched?
Let's take a look at the 3 greedy guys.
All right,
McCaffrey gets extended, hasn't played, will miss the first 5 games. Aiyuk gets paid, off to a slow start. Trent Williams, holds out. How's his start been? Mad Dog in San Mateo. Mad Dog, what's going on?
Hey, Steiny.
Hey.
How's it going?
Yeah.
Talk to us, baby.
Okay, this is my take, and I'm an older fan, and I know a lot of the other fans that everybody wants to Shanahan this and Shanahan that and everything, but I had a coach too told me, he goes like, you're at the level where you got to get yourself ready to play. And I think, maybe some of the players have been reading their own press clippings. It's like when Jefferson was going in between the 2 safeties, and they're going like, is that the best receiver in the NFL? Come run right by me. And yeah, it was, because I don't think they were ready. Not everybody was ready. You know, if they were all ready like Fred Warner and they were playing sharp, I think a lot of things would have changed. I mean, the Vikings, they stacked that defense. That's like a street fight. You got to be ready to go. And then I think some of the players are going like, we're in Viking land now. And they did not expect the NFL to be that big, maybe. I don't know. I think it was on the players. I mean, not all of them. Like that punt out block, too. You know, I mean, that guy was going like, nobody ever blocks a punt, you know, and he goes, oh, crap, that guy just went by me, you know?
Yeah, I mean, no, appreciate the call, Mad Dog, but, like, that's the thing. I mean, we can find some positives, but there are just too many things that happened, and you don't win games like that. You gave up 6 sacks.
Talk to me.
You committed 2 turnovers. You had a punt blocked. You could not get them off the field on third down.
Without their best weapon. The last 20-14, it's right there. You get a stop and score, you win by 1, Steiny. They faced 3 third downs, and Naylor and a guy, Powell, were guys that were catching the balls, gashing the Niners. That's what was so shocking to me. And now, you know, I got to bring up Sorensen, Steiny. This is his defense, but I didn't want to come in here. I know it's Overreaction Monday, but I got to keep it real because I'd be a phony and a fake to myself. Last week I came in saying after the Monday night game, this defense is dominant, so I got to slow my roll. But, man, that was not a good day for anybody outside of Fred Warner on the defense. And no Justin Jefferson, no pressure at all, I felt like, for Sam Darnold to have the day that he had, but to convert 3 third downs on the money drive to get the field goal to basically make it to put the game away. Now, somebody's got to make plays. Somebody's got to be disruptive. And I don't have to tell you this. Bosa got 2 sacks, Steiny. 1, it was hey, you got it. I don't know what Darnold was doing, but pressures matter too. And Hargrave, the rest of the gang, Floyd, I don't see them pressuring the quarterback. I mean, Rodgers, as bad as they were, 6 of 10 on third.
Yeah, let's talk to Kyle Shanahan about the third down conversions of the Vikings.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, they got us on third down. We had a couple opportunities to get off the field. Sam made a couple good throws, and they were good on third down all day. So we had our opportunities with those turnovers that they got, but he made some big plays, and it was tough after that.
Wow.
It was tough after that.
Yeah. Can I just give you the first? So you talk about you're on the road, you want to come out, and you want to get started, right? Steiny, the first series for the Niners, 3 plays, 7 yards, minute 35 punt. Next series, 4 plays, 30 yards, 2:36 off the clock, block punt. Get this. Next series, 15 plays, 88 yards, 9 minutes and 18 seconds, turnover on downs. You follow that up again with the drive that goes 6 plays, turnover on downs. You're not ready. And yet you still had it within 6 and you couldn't get a stop. Minnesota beat you in every aspect. Coaching too. We hadn't mentioned Brian Flores yet.
They had a 1st and goal at the 4 in the first half there. They threw 3 out of 4 times. 1st and goal at the 4. Man. They ended up getting stopped on 4th down. They threw 3 out of 4 times. That's the kind of thing that I just don't get.
Yeah, and that's one person that only can answer that, right?
Yeah.
Kyle.
Richard in Milpitas. What's up, Richard? How you doing, man?
Okay. Yeah. I'm figuring out some things from just listening to you guys.
Okay.
I like your provocative comments, but sometimes you just have to concentrate a little better, and problem can be solved fairly easily.
Okay.
It probably, I don't want to be arrogant. Yes, I think it could be fixed in a very short time.
Okay.
Just by watching a little bit of film for me or somebody like me to solve your problems.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, Richard. And we're all going to try to focus a little more, concentrate a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because that often is the key to not only a good ball game, but it's a key to a good radio show. Focus, concentration. And who was lacking that today, Goo? Or yesterday, rather?
I'd say the Niners' run defense. They gave up 6.1 yards a pop to Ty Chandler, Aaron Jones, and Sam Darnold, who skated 5 for 32, used his legs. I didn't recognize that team. And it's so funny in sports. This is why we love it. This was I'm going to shout out our boss. This game was his mattress game. And when you go into the mattress, that means you liquidate all assets. There's no way that the Niners are losing. And Steiny, this was Olivia Newton-John special from the Minnesota Vikings. And I can't get over how ineffective the Niners offense was. But that series you talked about in the first half, first and goal, and not passing it 3 times, I don't know what Kyle was thinking about there when Mason looked like Marshawn Lynch.
What's a mattress bet?
When you go and some people keep money under the mattress.
Okay.
So when you go bet it all on a sure shot. And he thought the Niners were a sure shot.
Why?
And I was right behind them.
Why?
Because they're the Niners. They went to the Super Bowl. They got Bosa. They got Debo. They got Aiyuk. They got the $60 million man. Not so fast. Dude, he looked like Jimmy a little bit yesterday. Purdy wasn't why they lost, but there were a lot. I mean, the fumble, Steiny, I don't know how they called it a fumble. It looked like interception, but it just slipped out his hand. He wasn't good yesterday, and he got away with a couple throws.
Let's go to Vince in the city. What's up, Vince? How you doing? Vince in the city. What's up, Vince? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? Yesterday, man, I was pretty upset with the whole team, the whole game overall. I think they just came out, they were flat. But the first thing that kind of pissed me off was, I understand giving respect to the other team, but for Brock Purdy to go on tape and say to Brian Flores, your defensive scheme was crazy.
I didn't like that.
That doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you give that to him on tape where it's the NFL, it's a copycat league? He was baited into all those throws. I felt like they had his number. They know that he likes to throw those layered throws and lead and anticipate the defense was a step ahead of him. We saw it in the Super Bowl last year, and now it's all on film. Teams are going to just game plan this way, and if we don't have a running game and he sticks to that, he's supposed to hit this window, so I'm going to throw it there. If defensive coverages are set up for that, we're going to lose almost every game. The second thing, and it also pisses me off, I feel like since Jim Harbaugh was here, I'll never understand how you play safety in the NFL and you let a wide receiver go over the top of you. You do not let that happen. That's your main job. You're the safety valve. You're supposed to not let anybody get behind you. You let Jets go from the 2-yard line and run 97 yards down the middle or across the field untouched? Come on, dude. That's embarrassing.
He got caught peeking.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
And both lines, too. Both lines played like crap. And they blitzed. I think they said it this morning on the roast. The Vikings blitzed like some 80% of the game. And not one screen pass play was called. Who's calling the plays, Kyle or the new OC? Because I remember it was supposed to be the new OC. And if that's the case, Kyle needs to go ahead and take back over.
Appreciate it, Vince. Vince not happy.
Did you hear the sound that he talked about and just the athlete in me or the fan in me?
Explain
when the game was over, you know how you come meet at midfield and you give the hugs? Mm-hmm. Brock Purdy caught up with Brian Flores and told him, and I didn't like none of this, your scheme is crazy, dude. And I'm like, Brock, even if you think that, you don't give that to him. Because now, just like the caller pointed out, hey, every game's on tape, right, Steiny? Copycat league. But I didn't like Brock basically bowing down and verbally saying what we saw, that the scheme is crazy.
Well,
I didn't like it.
Well, that's just showing your double standard. Double standard.
And that would be?
When Aaron Rodgers approached Fred Warner and said, the league doesn't know about you, but we know you're the best linebacker in football. That's okay. He gives him credit. But when Purdy does it, now you have a problem with it.
Now, that was like you a bad boy, but the scheme telling the person that this test is difficult. And I'll say this. You talked about stats and how they lie. And I won't put this all at Brock Purdy's doorstep, Steiny, but 300 yards, that wasn't 300 yards. Debo got deep, was killing them in the middle of the field, but they just couldn't do it money time, man. Like, how does a Kyle Shanahan offense against a Minnesota Viking team that I think had a good win in week 1, how are you 2-10 on third? So where's all the weapons we talk about? I was happy Kittle got in the end zone. They looked his way, but after that, it was just much of nothing. 7 points again in the first half, Steiny.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I sometimes think that because we watch the Niners and we're the Niners fans and we've seen them 4 out of the last 5 years be successful, that we just don't – sometimes we just don't think they're vulnerable. Sometimes we don't think they can lose a game like every team in the NFL can lose a game. Yeah, they went on the road. They got beat. Now they got to go play the Rams. We'll see what happens. Sparks in Baton Rouge.
Okay.
Sparks.
Hey,
What's
how
going
you doing?
on,
How
man?
you doing, fellas?
Talk to
How
us.
you doing?
Yeah.
Man, been a 49er fan since I was 5, 6 years old. I'm 44 now, so I've been living it. Last time we won the Super Bowl, I was 15 years old. Long story short, yesterday, like the caller said, I felt like the energy was flat. But also, I'm going to start with the defensive side. Why is it that other defensive team, like defensive coordinators, can dial up a blitz against us on 3rd and long, but it's like when we have them in 3rd and long, we rush 4, they blocking with 6, and it always seems like that our D-line is not doing anything, but they're blocking with more. And it started 2 years ago when we played the Titans on Thursday night. They started that trend, and a lot of times I think our coordinators think that our front can just win off talent alone. So dialing up the blitz more should be an emphasis. And also on offense, I just feel like since CMC is out and Aiyuk is trying to find his way, we should bring up Terrence Marshall. He's 6'3", 6'4", running 4.39. Hasn't had a good quarterback since he came out of LSU. He was over there with Carolina for some years. Put him on the outside, Aiyuk on the outside, let Debo insert Cowan in the slot. And, hey, let's just see, what's what. But I just really feel like the defensive coordinators, we know what it looked like. We know what it not looked like. So we 59% on 3rd downs, man, we can't. It's going to be a long year.
Hey, I'll leave you with this one. I just paid Brandon Aiyuk $30 million, gave him some guaranteed chicken, man. Ain't no way you can call and talk about another receiver. That's on Aiyuk and Kyle and everybody in charge to get him up and running. Man.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I just feel like, like Houston, the Texans have Nico Collins, I think his name. He's 6'4", 220. We bring Marsh up. That's 4.39 speed, man. Like,
right.
So I just want to see from the defensive side more blitzes on 3rd down because our D-line is not going to win rushing 4 when they're blocking with 5 and 6. It's just not going to happen.
Wow.
So, hopefully we learn from it and we get the dub this week against the Rams. The Lambs, whatever you want to call them.
Appreciate it, Sparks. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, 49er Frankie, with diehard Niner fan, was texting me, Steiny, why are the Niners not blitzing when they're not getting home with 4? And Sorensen didn't do it. Now, I'm not going to say he was stubborn, but the bottom line is there was a lack of communication from the Niners secondary across the board. Minnesota came out in a lot of bunch formations, and the Niners secondary guys were like, oh, you got Steiny. No, you got him. And guys were wide open. So that was another shocking aspect of this. The defense, I thought, was the heart and soul of this team.
I mean, they had 4 sacks. Is that enough for you? It wasn't yesterday. I mean, it does seem like the 49ers feel like defensively they should be able to dominate without having to do anything intricate.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's what happened yesterday is they just played basic defense. They didn't try to blitz, and their guys just didn't play well enough on defense, especially.
Yeah.
Bosa had 2 sacks. But I'm hearing on the Xfinity Mobile text line, they're cosmetic.
Right. Well, one he got, but the other kind of, I don't know what Darnold was doing. He ran back to him like a magnet. But the bottom line, Steiny, is I'm looking for pressures too, not just the sack numbers. And the Niners did not make one Sam Darnold uncomfortable yesterday. I just can't get over Sam Darnold in a revenge game came out of that game looking better than anybody in a Niner uniform not named Fred Warner.
Well, here's Kyle Shanahan talking about Sam Darnold.
Didn't surprise me. We knew we were up for a challenge. Sam is a hell of a quarterback. He's got a lot of arm talent, and we also knew just scrambling-wise it was going to be a different challenge today, and he got us in a couple scrambles, too, that he's done that his whole career. He's done it in college, and we knew we had a challenge.
Yeah.
There it is. See, this is like where, in a weird kind of way, Shanahan, you know he likes Sam Darnold, and you know he knows that Sam Darnold doesn't have the greatest reputation.
Mm-hmm.
So on a day like yesterday, at least Kyle Shanahan can say, yeah, he's a good quarterback. You guys don't know anything who criticized him for his whole career, but he's a good quarterback. And
but that was arguably one of his best games of his career.
Yeah.
Man, he did it all.
888-957-9570 is the number. Niners fall to 1-1 after losing to the Vikings 23-17 yesterday. We're going over it all. Fred Warner, one of the lone bright spots for the San Francisco 49ers. He was single-handedly kept them in that game. But the Minnesota Vikings, to my way of thinking, controlled that game. They were up all day long. The 49ers couldn't get it to a one-score game, and when they did, they allowed a field goal right away, and they put themselves in a position where they needed a lot to go right to figure out a way to come back and win that game.
Now, no, nothing you said is wrong, but real quick here, Steiny, am I sounding like a broken record when all that happened and transpired came down to Minnesota with the ball 20-14 in the fourth quarter? No Justin Jefferson. Jones is hurt. And Minnesota proceeded to keep the ball for 10 minutes in the fourth quarter. Like, do you think that's just, hey, we had a bad Sunday? Or is that concern moving forward for you in regard to the Niner defense and their lack of physicality? 10:08.
They didn't play well.
Yeah.
They didn't play well as a team. If you look at it, like the defense only gave up 23 points. That can win you a lot of games, but not yesterday when you're turning the ball over like the 49ers did.